sunny back here.
It's sunny back here, and that's the god that they worship back here, the god Aten.
Yes.
The sun god.
Yes. Akhenaten was the very first monotheist, and what we have in El Armana is one god only. This was revolutionary, and because of this, this lovely town will only remain for 17 years, and then Akhenaten will be wiped off the face of the planet until just about 100 years ago.
Yeah, well,
where
rediscovered, and his queen, Nefertiti, was a co-regent. He was a feminist. He believed in equality of the male and the female.
Can you imagine that?
Way back here.
Another reason he was wiped off the face of the planet.
Again,
Yes.
because he was a monotheist.
Yes.
And they didn't like that. And
Yeah.
he also believed in the brotherhood of man.
He was a little ahead of himself.
He was way ahead. And he was Dali-esque.
Yes.
That is in the art movement that he launched. There were distorted body figures.
Yes. Elongated limbs.
Elongated limbs.
And like very wide hips. Thunder thighs.
And that
Pharaoh's got back.
breasts, hermaphroditic depiction of the male.
Right. Have you ever seen those videos where they say Pharaoh's got back and they show like Akhenaten's rear end?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
Oh,
because he was depicted with like, you know, a big booty.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Pharaoh's got back.
He's not bad.
He is. Anyway, we always say they were like the Brad Pitt and Angelina of ancient Egypt. They were like
glamorous.
a glamorous power couple.
Right.
So here we are, back here. We said all that to say this. What happens in Armana
stays in Armana.
That's right.
It's our secret.
It's party town back here.
Right.
So we're going to party with you at the Oracle's table.
And Scorpio. This is for the month of June. And in the month of May, we have to do a little bit of a recap.
We do. We should take our glasses off now.
Yes.
So
There you are.
see us.
All right, now I can see you.
Just a little bit of a recap. But last month it seemed as if the end of the month we had the Five of Pentacles, and also at the beginning of the month we had the Queen of Swords. So Scorpio, you are a fixed sign, a water queen, and I've always said you don't have to worry about a Scorpio stabbing you in the back because they'll stab you in the face.
That's right.
We like that about you.
Yeah. There's you don't care.
You say it the way it is.
Say it the way it is.
It's lovely, but you're still full of heart.
Oh yeah. But last month you had to
Spiritual.
say it the way it was. So you had to be a bit of you had to wield a sword, which you normally don't because you're a Queen of Cups.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
And
you have a lot of heart,
you have a lot of heart.
but leadership abilities as well.
That's right. So those abilities were at the forefront last month, and you had to make some very stern and impartial decisions and decrees.
Yeah, and you may have let your meditation go a bit, or some of your spiritual practice because of the stress, but hopefully you picked it back up again.
Yes.
And so we're gonna do a 4-card spread for you
Right.
this month for the month of June. First card, overall environment of the month.
Second card, your challenge.
Third card,
The unexpected.
forewarned is forearmed.
Forewarned is forearmed. And the fourth card is the overview, or perhaps an important event. So let's see what happens for you, dear Scorpio.
They always have a powerful reading.
They always do. And again.
Once again,
The
the Emperor.
Emperor upright.
Oh wow, the ability to rule.
Yes.
The Good Father card. And what does a good father do? They protect.
They protect. They rule with. They are the rule givers. You see, a good parent is not one that's always lenient. A good parent creates boundaries and says that you will not go past this boundary or you won't be rewarded. And so it's about establishing boundaries
Yes.
Rules and regulations.
Somehow that comes into your life. Now, if that's your father,
Oh, it could be.
if it's how your partner fathers,
Right.
this seems to be at issue.
At issue
Yes.
for the month of June.
Yes, this has come up.
Right. So it's the management of your family, of your life, and imposing into that arena the rules and regulations by which you adhere and you live by, both by decreeing it to those within your realm and by also decreeing it to yourself.
Yes, and we all have inner parents too.
Yes, we do.
We have an inner father and we have an inner mother.
Yes.
So what is your inner father saying to
Yes,
you?
that stern father within.
To your inner child.
But that stern father is very loving.
Yes.
All these rules and regulations are for your own good
And protection.
and protection.
Yes.
So it's protecting those in your realm and leading. This is a leadership card, and leading with a firm hand.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting card for Scorpio
Very.
to color the entire month. First we have the father, the good dad, who's
then
drawing boundaries, and then we have the kids in the back seat of the car fighting.
Screaming at you, no!
That's your challenge. You got all these crazy kids around.
And they could be your actual children, or they could just be people around you who are acting like children.
That's right.
Those around you who are not on the same page. So all it is your challenge is to get everybody in agreement to the new rules and regulations you're setting.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Or even establishing what they are, because they have to change from time to time.
Yeah.
As the kids grow up, or as we grow up, or as we change, or our relationship changes, we have to reassess
Yes.
the boundaries and the that's, yeah.
But you know what this is?
Cross purposes.
You see all the people
Yeah.
involved. This is teamwork.
Yeah.
This is about teamwork.
Yeah.
So it's about bringing everybody into the team, into the fold. And that's why you're setting the rules and regulations so that everybody can function as a team.
Right. Like, did your mother used to make those notes when she left the house? The chore list? Do you remember the chore list?
Oh,
Clean
no.
the bathroom. Do like 10 things. Like, they were silly little things. You know, like brush your teeth, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I used to do that for my kids.
Oh, really?
But the first thing we did as kids was we would go to our sibling and see who had the longer list.
Cheat list.
We're like, she gave you 12 things and I have 14, or, you know, whatever.
My mother was a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So that.
So was mine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So that list was not written on paper, but it was written in my psyche. Never to be forgotten. So,
Well, my Scorpio mother used to make lists.
yes.
And the first thing we
Oh,
would
yes.
do is we would compare our lists. So that's kind of funny.
That is very funny.
Yeah, but it's organization either way.
Yes, and it's teamwork.
Yes.
And your challenge is to get the team organized and moving in the same direction.
Yes.
Agreement. That's all.
I like it.
All right. It means is that you need to turn your perspective around.
Yes.
That is, you have to see everything from a totally different perspective.
Right.
So to come to understand the situation and to be able to control it. And so the hangman just simply allows you to
Stop.
step back, and see it as if you were somebody else entirely.
Seeing it for the very first time.
Yes,
As if
seeing
you
it.
were standing on your head.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
looking at the situation.
Right.
Which you might even want to try that. Sometimes I actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you want a new perspective, you like, I have one of those big balls, you know, the chairs balls.
Mhm.
And I, you know, lay over the back of it and just kind of get a new perspective on things.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
you
see.
just kind of shake things up. But I will say, this card is interesting because if you have kids, and it's June, and they're all home for the summer, okay? And you really, and they won't give you any private time,
All right.
okay? The next time they open that bedroom door, you should be standing on your head. That'll scare them.
Oh, I see what you meant, standing on your head. I'm sorry. Yes,
Right,
that's
right.
That's right.
Like
So-
shake it up and like
Yes.
shock them a little bit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But another thing about this card, the Hanged Man, is unexpectedly you also feel a little like you're in suspended animation. Sort of like you don't know exactly which way to head. You see, so there's a moment unexpectedly when you are not as sure. You see? So unexpectedly, that determination that you had here in the beginning of the month and this sort of contention that you have here that you're challenged with leaves you feeling as if you're not grounded, as if you're suspended, and it's sort of like I always think of it as a moment of when the wheel stops turning and everything comes to a standstill.
Right, unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly, you're not getting it done.
It's like you're in a point. You're in stasis.
You're in stasis.
Yeah.
Perfectly
Yeah.
put.
So that's a good time to study the situation. Which this
Study
is
the
the card of the
situation
student.
because you come to a point where it's not. You don't know what to do next.
Get a book.
You know.
Go to the self-help section. Actually, there are a lot like if this is about parenting and fathering and kids home for the summer and drawing boundaries. I mean, you might want to go. You know, just read a book or go to YouTube. I mean, there are a lot of awesome videos on YouTube that have to do with, you know, drawing boundaries and how to deal with different situations. So
Yes, absolutely.
just Google it.
Absolutely. So it's not a bad card. In fact, it's a very spiritual card because this is a card of detachment
And understanding.
and seeing it from a completely different point of view.
Maybe it's
Okay.
from this fellow's point of view.
Right.
Okay, so what is coming
At the end.
at the end? Okay, now we can take off our glasses.
Oh, yes. All right. So,
What we have is we have the 9 of Wands. And
upright.
yes, and okay, you go ahead because I have a thought too. Let's see if
Alright.
they match because that's the fun of having 2 readers. No waiting.
All right. So your challenge is to bring the team together, okay? And at the end of the month, it's the battle-worn soldier who has who's a little wary of what might happen, but there's a great deal already accomplished. You're almost there, but it's that you again take the time to assess the next step, the final step in accomplishing your aim. You're a little bit suspicious, let's just say, at the very end, a tiny bit suspicious as to how to complete this project. So you're being very cautious at the end of the month because you don't want anything to happen willy-nilly.
Right, no, I think that's right. Because I think that you've probably engaged into some of these petty arguments,
Yes.
which are, this is the challenge.
Yeah.
And you've learned, this is a June thing. This seems like a summer thing
Yeah.
with kids home or maybe even it's at work where, you know, you're at cross purposes with others who you need to sort of fall in line to, you know, so that you can create sort of a working environment, if that makes sense.
Yes.
A work environment that works, and whether that's at home or at work, it doesn't really matter. But to me, you've learned from this card. This basically says, hey, I get it, and sometimes it's better to stand back and let the others kind of fuss among themselves and stand back and just sort of plan your next kind of move, or your you know, it's a time to step back, I guess. You know, because you're almost there.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's kind of like it's wearing you out. So maybe what you need to do is like take like a mini weekend with this guy.
Oh,
get away from the kids or the kids at work, or
it might be what's going on right here. Unexpectedly, you do take time off.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Take a break.
You need to take a break.
Get some space.
Unexpectedly, you need to take a break.
Yes.
And so it is about you know, finding that, putting a no action place within all this action.
Yeah, it's like on a hotel room.
In a hotel room.
Do not disturb.
That's it. Put a do not disturb sign up so that you can really go and gain a fresh perspective on things.
If you have to make your own on poster board,
right.
Do not disturb it. Put it on your door.
Right.
Put it, you know.
And there, I misunderstood. There is a headstand in yoga, but not where you're suspended, which is, this is like suspended in midair in effect. You know, you're suspended, and in being suspended, there's no movement, and you can see things upside down. And that's what you need for the month of June in order to bring all of this together.
Yeah, it's like you can give yourself suspension. You know how you used to get suspended from high school?
Oh,
suspend yourself from your family.
I wish that happened. I always envied those people.
I never got suspension.
I never did either.
And then you get to go, like, I like that because you get after school homeroom where you just sit there and do nothing.
Nothing.
Well, it's like the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
You hang out with all your friends and do nothing.
Friends and do nothing.
Yeah.
I advocate that.
Yes, I think this is definitely the month to put yourself on suspension.
That's right. Put yourself on suspension, because this whole thing is difficult. It is a difficult challenge for you. You have to be a stern leader.
Yes, you do.
And when you are a stern leader, you're not always liked.
Or you're going to have to encourage the man in your life, or the men in your life,
yes,
to do their job.
To do their job, to mow the lawn.
Create boundaries with the kids, control the kids.
Right, right.
So that you can have a self-imposed suspension from the kids, or vacation.
Suspension from your life.
Yeah, just take a break.
Take a break.
Yeah.
And June is a great time to take a break.
It sure
is.
You
need to.
Yeah, it sure is, because you're almost done.
You're almost done. You're almost there. You're a little bit weary.
You almost have these kids in line. At work or at home.
Yes. Yes.
And there may just be one big kid you're trying to get in line.
He's the hardest one to control.
Yeah. So, anyway. So thanks for
thank you,
tuning
Scorpio.
in. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
So thanks. Again, this bud, cup is for you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You guys are the best.
You're the best.
We really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, we have beer back here in Armana.
Oh, yes. Beer and bread.
Yes, we do. That's what we eat. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We are going to be
my sunglasses.
Narrating a mini documentary
on Nefertiti and Akhenaten and their incredible life together, and why they built this city, and the birth of monotheism, which is very important in the journey of human consciousness and
well, a female divine. So stay tuned for that. And then also, if you would like to know more about this reading, check our website, because we do have readings, virtualtarot.wordpress.com. We'd be happy to do a custom reading for you. And you know what? You're mom, you deserve it. Or if you're not mom, you're still mom, because we're mother of the entire world, we women, right? We're the goddesses, so you're mothering somebody somewhere.
And if you want to gift one of these to a friend, please, all you have to do is make your donation and include the name and the email address of the person you want to donate it to, and we'll contact them from there on. So it's very easy. That's
right. So when you make your donation, email us, and we've had people ask, at avatrudy@yahoo.com. Send your questions there. We'll get right back to you, and what you get is an MP3, really, really nice audio file that you can refer to, and they have quite the shelf life.
They do, and,
Yeah.
Depending on the question, they have relevance for any period of time.
All aspects.
All aspects of your life. So, thank you.
Yay! Spirit is so good. We've done great readings.
Yes, there are art.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes, and anyway, so last thing we wanted to mention Pinterest.
Oh yes.
Yes.
New thing.
The new thing, because we're working on growing our Pinterest page, and we actually really want to follow your Pinterest page. I'm gonna take my glasses off. So I think it would be really neat if all of the beautiful Scorpio women shared, or men, shared their Pinterest page with us, and we will share your Pinterest page with our audience. So you can kind of see what are their interests, what do they pin?
It's a way of, we thought it would be nice to create a little family, a sort of a virtual tarot family. People, fans, and people who are interested in astrology and the tarot itself. So
so we can all kind of get to know one another that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so thanks.
Right. So thank you,
we appreciate it. We'll see you in July.
We'll see you in July.
Let's take our cup
and
go down to the promenade.
Oh yes.
And we're gonna go see what's going on down here.
Aki and Neffy.
Yes. Stay tuned. Bye bye.
This month we explore the extraordinary story of the reign of the pharaoh Akhenaten and Nefertiti, who ruled Egypt for about 17 years between roughly 1353 BC and 1335 BC. Akhenaten was known as an iconoclastic genius, a poet, and a philosopher. While even just a boy, he fought against the selfish and the strong, whom he identified particularly with the priests of one of their pantheon of gods named Ammon. This was a polytheistic society in ancient Egypt, and the priests of Ammon were prone to tyranny, and so Akhenaten resolved to destroy the priests and their gods, and to supplant them with his god, with a single god named Aten, the sun god. The high priest had been accustomed to occupying high and influential positions at the court of Akhenaten's father, Amenhotep III. One of the priests had been a chief treasurer, another a grand vizier. But the single-minded and rebellious Akhenaten, when he ascended to the throne, began to embrace and develop the theological beliefs of the obscure Aten solar cult. And he set forth to convince an unheeding world of Aten's sovereignty over all of creation, thus making Akhenaten the first monotheistic ruler of the ancient world. Akhenaten had the noble desire to make all men wise, just, free, and mild. But Akhenaten was also a feminist, believing in the equality of women, as was proved when he married his wife, Nefertiti. She was a queen consort and became co-regent and equal to the pharaoh. She was committed to Akhenaten's vision and is often portrayed worshiping beside him. The royal couple delighted to appear among the people, accompanied by their children. Nefertiti, in some works of art, is shown standing equal next to her husband, symbolically showing that she was equal to her husband. As time went on, treason was attempted by the priestly party, which roused the ire of the strong-minded young king, for he suddenly began a war of bitter persecution against the god Ammon. Everywhere the god's name was chipped from the monuments, the tombs were entered, and the young pharaoh did not spare even the name of his father. It was at this time that he became officially known as Akhenaten, the spirit of Aten. Akhenaten decided to leave Thebes then, and at El Amarna, about 250 miles north, he caused to be laid out a garden city in which were built a gorgeous palace which surpassed that of his father, and a great temple dedicated to the one and only god, Aten. Akhenaten was a proud and profoundly serious man with a great mission, a high-souled prophet. Akhenaten believed it sinful to take away the life which Aten gave. No sacrifices were offered up at his temple. The fruits of the earth were laid on the altars instead. Aten was revealed in beauty, and his worshippers were required to live beautiful lives, believing that the cultured mind abhorred all evil and sought after only that which was most excellent. Akhenaten promoted the idea of the universal brotherhood of man and conceived that the world was beautiful and was pervaded by universal peace. And though Aten, the god, was a sun god, he was not actually the material sun. He was the first cause manifested by the sun, from which all things came, and from which ever issued forth the life-giving and life-sustaining influence, symbolized by rays ending in hands that support and nourish human beings. No grand theology has ever appeared in the world before such as this. It is the forerunner of the later monotheistic religions, while it is even more abstract and impersonal, and may well mark as scientific theism, which in our modern world would be equivalent to the ideas of the 20th century mystic Rudolf Steiner. Akhenaten died while still a young man, and the causes of his death are unknown. But there is speculation that the new pharaoh was in fact Queen Nefertiti, who ruled as a man and attempted to hold together the collapsing dreams of her husband. Though not many women have acted as rulers in ancient Egyptian society, they have been considered to be equal among men in status as well as legal opportunities. Women were shown to be allowed the opportunity to take part in the economy, such as their role as merchants. Women took part also in religious activities. They were allowed to become priestesses. It has now taken women 3,000 years to reclaim their equal social rights. And only now is the world reawakening, heralding a return to higher frequencies of love, compassion, and kindness, and to the eternal feminine divine.